Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here today. APDforward is happy to be here and welcomes you. What a big day for Albuquerque this is, for our families and the hopeful, brighter future for our city. APDforward and our strong base of organizations from across the city and individuals congratulate the city and the Department of Justice for completing this important step of many to come. APDforward campaign is ready to take full advantage of this opportunity that is before us to achieve what we want, a city where all of our families and communities can trust our police and feel safe as they walk their streets. APDforward campaign has great representation from the diverse aspects of our communities, all who have committed to be a part of this for the long haul. We know it's going to be a long process, but we're ready and determined to be there every step of the way. We have a great lineup for you today, and I'd like to introduce Mike Gomez, who has lost his son from APD violence. Thank you.
Citizens of Albuquerque, this is a historic day for everyone involved here in any kind of police encounters during the past, the present, and now the future. Because of community outcry, because of the citizens of Albuquerque knowing something was terribly wrong, today is a hopeful day for everyone in Albuquerque. The Department of Justice has come down with strict, different items that they want the Albuquerque Police Department to do. And now APD just can't say, oh, we'll look into it or we're going to try to do it. There is a court enforceable order that will be carried out if they don't do it. So they have to do it now. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take years. And unfortunately, I think this could have been prevented years ago if the administration would have admitted there was a problem. Because all the way until April the 10th of this year, when the DOJ came out with their scathing report saying things were wrong, terribly wrong with the Albuquerque Police Department, till that day, the mayor still said that Albuquerque Police Department was the best police department in the country. And that was proven wrong. So now he has to do something, and not just him, because this is going to be happening for when he's out of office. This is going to be happening for the future of our kids, of our grandkids. My kid, Alan Gomez, my son, 22 years old, was killed 3.5 years ago. Now I can feel in my heart that his death was not in vain, or was the deaths of any of our citizens' loved ones in this process. So this is just the beginning. We're trying to combat a culture that has been here for decades, and we will overcome this. And I thank everyone who has joined in the struggle, because we will have to keep on enforcing this struggle, and that is why APDforward is here. The community has gotten together. I'm so proud of APDforward, the clergy, the mental people, the homeless, the lawyer people here, families. I mean, it's just overwhelming from when we first started to right now, how many people are caring and wanting to do something, including all the media. Without the media, we would be nowhere. So I thank each and all of you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mike, for your strength and commitment to our city. Next, I want to bring up Peter Simonson from the American Civil Liberties Union of New Mexico.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is really a historic opportunity that's been given us today. We have in our community here suffered through 40 years of police violence. We've gone through 3 spikes now of officer-involved shootings. And during those first cycles of police violence, the city's response was to try and modify the civilian oversight process to address the issues. This is the first time in our community's history that we have a federal agency that has stepped in and decided to set things right. This is a unique opportunity. It's an opportunity that I think many of us, even as much as a year ago, never really thought would come. But here we are today, roughly a year after the DOJ, I believe, began its investigation. The first step now is past us. Our work begins here. I want to just take a couple of comments about a few things that this agreement actually do for us here in Albuquerque. One, a lot has been made, of course, about the need to protect the community's safety and their interactions with the public. But I think what has not gotten enough attention is the fact that our officers' safety will also be improved by this agreement. The requirement that officers, in their use of force, first make every attempt to de-escalate in encounters with members of the public is critically important. And in a recent visit to the Las Vegas Police Department, what I saw there was officers initially resisting, initially having difficulties in understanding the logic of de-escalation, but as time went on and they saw the impact it had in their own jobs and improved the quality of their jobs, saw the value of de-escalation and retreating from those moments when lethal force might have been an option. This agreement gives the community what it needs to ensure a healthy reform of our police department. One of the things that this agreement will do is require that a federal monitor regularly generate measurable data about how the police department is actually living up to the reforms that are outlined in the consent decree. Without that kind of data, without actually understanding how well the department is complying with the requirements under the Department of Justice, our community is going to have a much more difficult time in trying to insist upon reforms. But today, this agreement gives us that ability. This is an important first step. It's a critical first step. Without this first step, I'm not sure we would be looking at a very optimistic future with our police department. But I think from today forward, the community now has an opportunity to work with the city and ensure a healthy reform of our police department. But it is important to recognize that the work has just begun. This is an important step, but it's only the first step. We need the community, APDforward, and our allies to be as engaged as possible in holding the city to task for what is now agreed to with the Department of Justice, and guaranteeing that this reform is carried out in an effective way over the next maybe as many as 5 years. Finally, let me just say that the APDforward is working with a committee of legal advisors, all constitutional attorneys, legal experts here in our community, who will be reviewing the consent decree over the coming days and hope to issue a legal analysis based on our view of the consent decree. Certainly, based on what we have heard today, we're very positive, we're very optimistic about what the DOJ and the city have agreed to. We congratulate the city and the Department of Justice on doing this so quickly, and it is a quick timeline that they've been on, but we will be providing more critical analysis of the consent decree as the days come. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And as you can see, we have a broad base of organizations and people representing APDforward, but for all who couldn't be here today. But for our last speaker, we have Jenny Metzler from the Albuquerque Healthcare for the Homeless.
So thank you for coming. I hope you hear our expression of inspiration and hope today. As a campaign, APDforward has accomplished its first objective, to see this consent decree, and we're very, very hopeful. We're excited, we're eager to spend more time in the document to understand how it serves as a roadmap. As Peter said, now there's a lot of work to do, but we're really confident that we can do it as a community. At Healthcare for the Homeless, over the last few months, as we've been a part of this campaign and coalition, we've started with a mantra that says all people matter. I think that this consent decree can really help that mantra to live, where we all come together and recognize everyone in our community is important. We hope at APD Forward that this process will lead to a safer Albuquerque, not just for people who are experiencing homelessness and living on the streets, also and/or for people struggling with mental illness who might be in crisis, and/or other vulnerable populations. And I say and/or because none of these categories are mutually exclusive. We also include in that a safe Albuquerque for our kin, for our neighbors, for our friends, and for our police officers. So that's our hope, that's our excitement. We hope the community will work with us and learn from us as we continue to go forward implementing now this roadmap consent decree. Thank you.
So that's the conclusion of our podium talk. Everybody will be available for one-on-ones. Thank you.